So what do we know about soccer balls? The most basic one we tend to think of is a sphere made of leather. Actually, they've become more synthetic over the years, with a few polygons stitched around it. But before we got that version of the soccer ball, they used to resemble the modern day volleyball. See the similarities? Ever since its creation, the soccer ball has seen its fair share of revisions, but more or less keep the same principles, of being a sphere made up of a few polygons and made of synthetic materials. So how can one particular ball cause so much chaos and controversy amongst professional players all around the world? I'm referring to the Jabulani. Used in the 2010 South Africa World Cup, the Jabulani has been nicknamed the most controversial soccer ball of all time by all of these guys. Spanish goalkeeper Iker Casillas criticized the ball, saying, "It is very sad that a competition so important as a world championship will be played with such a horrible ball." English goalkeeper David James expressed his disinterest, saying, "The ball is dreadful. It's horrible, but it's horrible for everyone." While Brazilian striker Robinho expressed his frustration, stating, "For sure the guy who designed this ball never played football. But there's nothing we can do. We have to play with it." So what was wrong with the ball? Put this in comparison. A modern day soccer ball is made with 32 hexagonal panels that create the entirety of the outer layer of the ball. The Jabulani's predecessor, the Team Geist, challenged this precedent by only consisting of 14 panels to create its outer layer. The Jabulani took it a step further and made up its outer layer with an outstanding 8 panels. And unlike sewing the panels together like a modern day soccer ball, the Jabulani followed the Team Geist's footsteps and was thermally bonded, avoiding stitches altogether. The point of this? To reduce the unpredictability that stitches can introduce in a ball's trajectory. Unfortunately, the designer's hopes of creating the most advanced soccer ball ever made caused more outrage than happiness, which is what Jabulani is loosely translated as in Zulu. Rabi Mehta, an aerospace engineer with NASA, debunked the mysteriousness around the ball with a series of analyses on the movement of the ball using wind tunnel data. He said, "When one measures the drag force on a ball, the force is relatively high at the lower speeds. But at some critical speed, the drag drops suddenly. This critical speed is determined by the roughness on the ball." But wait, I thought the 8 panels of the Jabulani gave the ball a smoother surface. You'd be correct, but the Jabulani came with something called aero grooves, which channeled air over the surface of the ball for a truer flight. To put it in perspective, a traditional 32 panel ball's critical speed is around 35 miles per hour. With a smoother surface on the Team Geist ball, this critical speed is increased to about 45 miles per hour, and for the Jabulani, to about 55 miles per hour. This meant that the Jabulani was so aerodynamic that when players expected it to drop due to drag, it just kept accelerating. Apart from its seamless design, the addition of the aero grooves also gave the Jabulani the most insane knuckleball effect when being shot. Due to its higher critical speed, the amount of force produced by crosses and shots on goal made the Jabulani move in mystical ways, thus resulting in players describing it as a ball with a mind of its own. The ball was so unpredictable that these legends scored a combination of 1 goal in the whole tournament. However, one player seemed to have tamed the Jabulani. Diego Forlan scored 5 goals with the Jabulani and helped Uruguay make it to the semifinals. He was so dominant in the tournament that he was presented with the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. So what was his secret? There are no mysteries here. A lot of practice, a lot of training, and again, a lot of practice, he said. He actually asked Adidas to send him the ball 3 months prior to the World Cup to practice with it. I got lucky, and the Jabulani behaved very well back then, and we got along great.